The fight to do what's right. Let's talk about that internal battle, y'all. That internal battle that we have, with the devil here. Then you got the little angel guy here, and there's this internal fight that's fighting for control. That's fighting for your soul. I want to talk about the flesh and the battle between the flesh and the spirit. The battle between the flesh and the spirit. Because when you get a good understanding of the flesh and how the flesh works and how the spirit works, then you can understand yourself, but more importantly, you can understand other people. The best way to learn about other people is to learn and to study and to master self. The flesh. Let's talk about the flesh first. A lot of y'all, all of us, we are very familiar with the flesh. The flesh won't what it won't when it want it. It want it right now. Yesterday was too late. We want it now. That's all the flesh think about. Every single thing is about him. He watched TV, that's about him. He watched sports, it's about him. When he listening to you, he's not even listening to you. I'm just talking about the flesh. He's listening. He's not listening to understand. He's listening because he's waiting to share. The flesh don't care about nothing or no one. Selfish, consumed with self. The whole world revolved around him, right? And it starts from the fall, man, right? It starts from the fall. Ever since we fall, the sinful nature came into place, and ever since the sinful nature came into place, we began to hide. The Bible talks about, they started hiding soon as they sinned. I'm talking about Adam and Eve. As soon as they sinned, they began to hide. And they began to feel shame, because they was naked, right? Now we talk about nakedness. Nakedness is our natural state. That's our natural state. There was no shame when they was naked, but all of a sudden now, they notice that they are naked. So now they shame, they covering up. And people have been covering up, man, for years, y'all. People have been covering up for years. Instead of putting fig leaves over, they covering up with cars. They covering up with staying busy. They covering up with money. They covering up with the ego, the false self, talking real good, trying to be real popular, overworking. I can go on and on. That's how the flesh works. Because see, the flesh is tied to the ego, and the ego, he got to be number one. Right, he got to be number one. Everything got to be by him. Him and the flesh, they ride side by side, right? And the ego is no more than what? Easing God out. That's what we doing. We easing God out. We thinking about ourselves, and that's really not a place to be in, because don't you know? And I'm gonna share this, man, from my experience, and there's also statistics that says this, man. Majority of relationships, and we can talk in particular about marriages, they don't work. It ain't because of, fidelity. Yeah, okay, it is fidelity, right? But majority, if you go deeper, right, deeper, it's because somebody want what they want. And they under the impression, right? Listen to me, y'all. They under the impression that it's the other person's job to fulfill it. And that's when the flesh gets into play, right? The flesh like, okay, she ain't doing this for me. She ain't cooking right. He ain't paying me no attention. Notice what I'm saying. It's always about me, me, me. Me, me, me. Me, me, me. That's how the flesh works, And now you got to realize a marriage, that's a spiritual thing. That's spiritual. The spirit, God made the marriage. So if God ain't part of the marriage, you're gonna have a problem, right? So anyway, long story short, getting back to the flesh, man, the flesh wants what it wants when it wants it. It gets stuck, and once it gets stuck on itself, it began to do what? It began to just build up keeping score and build up resentment. Now the Bible talks about love. Love don't do what? Love don't keep score. It doesn't do that. Love is what? Love is patient. Love is what? Love is kindness. You know what I mean? Love is just love. There's so many things about love, but we say we love this person, but we practice the opposite. And I'm talking about, I know I'm guilty for that, right? So that's why I need the Spirit, right? So some people, they need to go to church and, things like that. I need God. Yeah, I go to church, but I need God. You know what I'm saying? I need my spirit, right? Because remember, Jesus gave, he said, I'm leaving you a comforter, right? He said, I'm going to leave you the Holy Spirit. Boom. Now we talk about the spirit. Touched on the flesh. Now let's talk about the spirit real quick, right? The spirit is connected to God. Spirit is connected to Jesus. Spirit is connected to, right, to other people, spirits, right? Real, right? So we spiritual. That's who we are. We spiritual in nature. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think we really this body. A lot of people think we, we all this and our person. No, we are a spirit who is connected to God. That's who we are, right? So it's very important. The Bible said, be led by the Spirit. Be led by the Spirit. So now the Spirit, he cool, right? He cool. He know what he wants. He ain't worried about outside things. When a man is tapped into his spirit, he's at peace, bro. There's nothing, listen what I'm saying, y'all. There's nothing you can do to a man who is all right with himself. See, when you connected to the spirit, you good, man. You Gucci. You know who you are. You're not concerned about the job. You're not concerned about what other people say to you because you're connected to the spirit. Right, so now a lot of people, they struggle. They talk about, you know what I mean, it's this internal battle going on. I had some people say, man, it sounds like I got two personalities. And you know, and that is true, man. You know what I mean? Because what's taking place internally, y'all, they fighting for position. Okay? See, there was a time before I got saved, I can keep it real with y'all. There was a time before I got saved, I wasn't having no fight. There wasn't no internal battle with me. You know, I wanted what I want, and I was trying to get it. It wasn't no, you know what I'm saying? I might have a conscious, right? Conscious, little bit of conscious of the right thing. But other than that, I override it. I'm about to do what I'm about to do. But see, now there's a fight. The more and more I study God's word, the more and more I meditate on his word, now there's an internal fight and a battle going on inside me. And like I said, it's a fight to do what's right, right? So now, you have to realize how they work now, okay? Everything is about give and take, right? Give and take, right? I go to the store, you know, I won't give me some shoes, whatever. I get the shoes, right? But I first give them the money, right? Give, take. I give them the money, I take the shoes, right? So usually it works together like that. You know, the spirit and the flesh and the spirit works good with that. Flesh ain't tripping, right? Flesh ain't tripping, right? Ego ain't tripping. But now it's something about when you get into a relationship. When you get into a relationship, man, the spirit and the flesh, they don't roll like that, man. They really don't. They don't roll like that. The flesh is about him, right? The flesh is about him. Now you can be sitting there and trying to operate out the spirit, but the flesh, whenever the spirit is leading, you best believe the flesh is watching. And he's watching, he's keeping score, he's sitting over there like, all right, yeah, you keep giving if you want to, right? So say for instance me, I'm giving, I'm in a giving spirit. You ever been done that? You ever been in a giving spirit? You just want to give and just be of service. That's the spirit, right? That's a spirit leading you, right? But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you like, well, they don't do that for me. That's the flesh. Right, because see, the flesh, he always watching the spirit. He be sitting over there Gucci, man. He chilling. He watching him, but he keeping score. He watching everything the giver do. He looking at it, he keeping score. He like, okay. Right, then he'll say something like this. They don't never do that for you. They don't do nothing for you. Right? Right? So now, he got you thinking, right? So that's why it's very important that we understand when we are in a giving spirit. It's very important we understand why we are doing what we're doing. Remember, the Bible talks about God know what? He know our motives. So it's up to you to know the motives, because you can be doing something good, but subconsciously, you don't even know for real, you want something in return. For real. And you know how you know that? When things don't go your way. Right? Say if I give my wife something, right? You know, I buy her something. You know, just because, I say, I'm just a nice person. I'm just going to buy my wife this. You know, these shoes she been looking at. Boom, I buy her them shoes. The next thing you know, I want something else from her later on. She's like, no, I'm good. I don't want to do that. Now, and you know what I mean? Now I'm going to my flesh, right? My childish, my ego. And, I knew I shouldn't have bought them shoes. Grown man. I knew I shouldn't have bought them shoes. Why? What happened? My motives wasn't pure. I wasn't aware of myself. That's why the whole thing, this walk with Christ, that's why this recovery thing is all about knowing yourself on a deeper level. So when things don't go your way, you don't cause harm, right? Because when you don't know yourself, you cause harm. You cause harm because your motives wasn't pure. Right? Now, say for the same shoes, right? Same shoes, same wife. I give it to her in the spirit. Right? Give it to her because I want her to have it. There's nothing no hidden agenda. I'm good, I'm Gucci. I know what it is. So she said, "No, I don't want to do that with you. I don't want to go over your brother's house with you." I said, "All right, well, I'll be downstairs. Call me if you need me." Okay. Because I did it out of spirit. I did it out of the spirit. That's why you got to know yourself, man. That's why a lot of people like to study other people. No, bruh. Study yourself. Study yourself, right? Because see, remember, y'all, things on the outside is not our problem. Right? It's not our problem. The government is not our problem, bruh. You know what I'm saying? All these things external is not our problem. The problem is how we perceive it and how we look at it, our perception and our perception, our perspective and our perception, right? How we look at it, how we feed it back to ourselves. That's what drive us. That's what get us knocked off our block. So now you got the giver, taker, right? The giver, that's the spirit. You got the taker, that's the flesh, right? The taker always watching the spirit. He always watching him, right? So now you go back and forth. You go back and forth, yeah. 1 minute you good, you want to be real giving. Next minute you keep it score, things ain't going your way. And that's what happened, man, when people really don't know who they are. Because we naturally like that. Our sinful nature want what it wants when it wants it. So I want what I want when I want it. My wife want what she wanted. Your wife want what she wanted. So everybody really got this sinful nature in them. That's why you have to stay connected. I don't read the Bible, man, because I'm trying to quote scripture. I'm reading the Bible so I can understand myself. I have to master myself. I have to know when my flesh is active. I have to know when my flesh is stuck on the ego and on the childish behaviors. That's the only way I can counter it, right? Right? So now, so now you begin to fight. You begin to watch this fight go on. And you begin to hear the flesh say, don't do that for me. They'll never do that for me. And this is how it builds up. It builds up. And people just begin to build that selfish wall around them. And they keep a score. Next thing you know, they don't want to be around. They make no more. They make reaching out to them. You want to go to the show? You want to do this? No, I'm good. Right? Because they emotionally immature. Right? See, a lot of us are emotionally immature. We don't know how to get past ourselves. When we have feelings, bro, we don't know how to self-soothe. We don't know how to let it go. We don't know how to forgive and we don't know how to let it go. And it's a wrap. No, bro, you hurt me. I got to hold on to it because a lot of us are still in survival mode while we're in these relationships, bro. We still in survival mode. Man, I don't need to survive around my wife, but my flesh don't know that. My flesh like, no, she's your enemy. Real talk. Man, some of us is in relationships. We think our wives and our husbands are our enemy, man. Why? Because things ain't going our way. Who told you that? The ego. Who told you that? The flesh. He tell you all those type of things, man. He the one be keeping score. He the one who be talking about her weight. He the one talking about, I'm the one who making all this money. He the one talking about, you need to do things my way. He the one talking about that. The flesh, man, he childish. He's immature. He false. But the spirit not tripping. Because the spirit is connected. The spirit is connected to God and he knows who his true self is. When you know who you are, can't nobody else knock you off your block. So now when you give, it doesn't bother you when you don't get nothing in return. But you have to do the work. You have to do the work. What work I'm talking about? The internal work, right? With internal work, majority of us are still acting on what? On that hurt little child, man. When you do the work, when I get past my ego, when I get past all these survival skills, you know what I mean? I'm going to attack you before you attack me. When I get past all this stuff, then there's a little child inside of me crying out. Inner child, they call him child, crying out. How do you relate to your inner child? A lot of y'all don't even know your inner child. But a lot of y'all grown, and y'all might be grown in age, but y'all still acting like immature. That's the little child coming out, bruh. That's him. He want to be heard. He want to be held. He want to be loved, man. It's time for us to do the work, man. And the spirit, is okay to operate in the spirit. But when the flesh talk, man, like I say, he keeps score. When he talk, man, you know, you let him know, like, nah, bro, we don't get down like that no more. We don't get down like that now, no more. Now, with the spirit, what he does now, you gotta realize everybody have natural needs that God put in us. We all have these needs. And one thing about addicts, we go about getting these needs fulfilled in a negative way. Yeah, in a negative way. We get attached to stuff. We get attached to drugs, pornography, all this type of stuff, man. But God put natural needs in us. So when you begin to learn, you ask God to teach you your needs. And when you're in a relationship, here's the thing. Got to share this part with y'all. Our mates cannot read our minds. So it's my job to tell my wife what I need from her. But here's the thing about when you tell people your needs. It's a way you do it. You do it out of kindness and love. Now you done your job. I done my job. If I tell my wife, like, look, I need this from you. She said, okay, but I do it in a nice way. I do it at the right time. Timing and patient timing, and the way you do it, that's the big key, right? It's how you say it. But here's the thing. I'm not responsible for the results. Okay? So when I share some needs from my wife, I need some needs from my wife. It's up to God. God gonna make it happen. I can't change my wife. It might be something that she never done before. Might be something that she needed work on. Might be something that she like, I ain't never doing that, right? Regardless of what man I'm with, right? I don't know what it is, but this is what I need from her. Right now, once I say it, boom, I just give it to God. Right? And then if it don't happen, again, you go over and over. That's the thing about it. A lot of people don't know what they need, and they don't know how to express that need. But when you tap into the spirit, see, the spirit know how to let those things be known. Because the spirit is connected to God, and God is love. Right? And I'm gonna share this and be quiet. And what's more important? What's more important when you relay about the spirit? What's more important is me and my wife relationship more than me being right. If you like this one right here, y'all let me know. Leave me a comment, man. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell, man. Till next time, I'm Vernon L., that Christian in recovery, and I'm out.